And I'm having an echo. Is it me?
How about everyone go on mute?
Except for me for a minute. Okay. All right. That will work. All right. So anyways, welcome to Summit Center for Spiritual Living, where we share universal good through love. And Michael is going to light our 2-wick candle, and he can explain why we do that.
See, I'm prepared this week. I have all the implements right here. So we light a candle every week, and it is symbolic. The first wick that we light is that of the represents the light of God as us, in us, and through us. And the second light is that of community, that when we gather in community, that we do shine a greater light.
Thank you very much. Why is that still saying unmute? Come on, there we go. All right, thank you, Michael. And so today our speaker is going to be Reverend Jeff Radcliffe, and I did not ask him what his topic is, but he'll tell us when we get there. And John, you want to lead us in a song?
All right. It's Loving Now. Loving yesterday, loving tomorrow, loving today, loving now, loving awareness, kindness and happiness, peace and goodness, loving now. Loving music, loving singing, loving harmony, loving now, loving awareness, kindness and happiness, peace and goodness, loving now. Loving forgiveness, loving gratefulness, loving creativity, loving as we could, growing in wisdom, being kinder, living better, loving what is good. Loving nature, loving beauty, loving each other, loving now, loving awareness, kindness and happiness, peace and goodness, loving now. Loving now.
And thank you, John Miller, and hello, Kyle. Glad to see you here.
Yes. Sorry, I'm late a little bit.
You're here. That's all that matters. Oh, and the Lily's here now too. Can't hear you, Jeff. You're talking.
Yeah, she's coming and going. At least on my screen, she's flashing in and out.
Yeah, yes.
What a disappearing.
But she's looking a little hairier. So that's
Yeah, she's starting to grow out now.
starting to look like she's supposed to.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I'm going to turn this Michael to do 365, and then John's
Yeah.
going to song, and I'll do the meditation, and then Jeff will be our speaker.
I think Tim's doing the song, aren't you?
Oh, Tim's doing. Oh my goodness, Tim.
Yeah.
I am so sorry. This is such a bad habit. Tim will do the music, and I know he would do the music, and I know what he's going to do. Very nice. So, all right. So Tim will do the music. Okay, so I'm going to mute myself, and I'm going to let Michael take over at the moment.
All right. Well, again, thank you, everyone. Thank you for being with us today here on Facebook. We really appreciate and love you. And for today, of all things, man, it's November the 17th. Do you believe that? But today's from Science Mind 365, the theme is sympathy. And the scripture is from 1 John 3, the 18th verse. It says, "My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth." Dr. Holmes's commentary is that humanity and divinity will be identical when we recognize divinity in humanity. We must learn to see through the apparent, not to judge according to appearances, and to realize that at the center of every person's soul, God is enthroned. Sympathy and compassion are the ties that bind us together in mutual understanding, and then the unified attempt to uncover the divinity in each other. Sympathy is the most gentle of all human virtues, for it is the outpouring of the divine givingness through humanity. So pray with Ernest Holmes that today I extend the hand of sympathy to everyone that I meet. I permit my inward vision to penetrate every apparent obstruction, every obstinate attempt to cover up the divine, and every ignorant misuse of the law of good. I withdraw the veil that hides my real self, and in so doing, unveil the reality in others. Today I love as never before. Today I draw to the Spirit in everything and in everyone. And from the Science of Mind text, page 106, it says, "Whatever is true of the universe as a whole must be also true of the individual as some part of this whole." Science of Mind 365.
And Tim's going to do his song now. Unmute, please.
We're doing the meditation, right? Hello?
Yes, I'm doing the meditation. Sorry. as we listen to the beautiful music that Tim's playing, just allow ourselves to relax, taking a deep breath, and release and let go. Allow anything that may be hurting, blocking, taking one more deep breath. And as we release, allow the chair to support this, when we get to look into each other's eyes and feel that oneness with each other. All right. So, thank you. And I'm going to turn it over to Reverend Jeff Radcliffe now. And Reverend Jeff, I don't know what your topic was because I didn't know. I knew you got a last minute request from us. So, anyways, thank you for being here.
I feel like I'm a kid again watching Romper Room. And I'm looking through the magic mirror and I see Carol Ann and I see Diana and I see Kyle. It's really cool. And like you said, to be able to see into each other's eyes is important because we're not there in person to be with each other, and this is the best way to do it. So I like that. But before we get started, let's go within for just a quick moment to a quiet place where truth resides, knowing that there's only one presence existing in and expressing as each one of us. This sacred time, is our time to open to growing and expressing more fully the presence that is us. And as we become more fully aware of our oneness, we heal the world and bring it back to what it was before it became tainted with thoughts of separation. So with gratitude and calm assurance that all is well, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of how things look, we relax and know that we are one, we are peace, we are love. And that love radiates out into the world around us, is sensed and felt by each individualization of the presence. And those individualizations also begin to radiate love. Love is what we are. And so we allow this moment to unfold perfectly. We allow this knowledge of our oneness to sink deep into our subconscious, to come forth in conscious and unconscious ways. We allow it to just unfold naturally. And we give thanks for the opportunity to share in this sacred time space of Zoom together. We bless each other. We bless this time together, and we open our hearts to bless the world. And so it is. Amen. Now, many of you, maybe not everyone, but a lot of you know that I spent a week in the hospital after having a weird thing. I learned that you can have your gallbladder removed and yet still have gallstones. And that's what happened to me. It was a very surreal experience, but it was also eye-opening in ways that I could be of service, even while I was laid up in the hospital. Next week, the 28th, is Thanksgiving in the United States, and I got to thinking about that word serve and how it relates to Thanksgiving. We create food that will serve X number of people. We serve that food at a specific hour. We may serve others by making a plate for them, or we do a buffet style and let others self-serve. Serve is such a little word, but the implications are enormous. When I was about 14, I got the feeling that I was to become a minister. I'd been on a pretty serious spiritual search since I was 9, if you can imagine that. I've been beginning with my fascination with American Indians and their spirituality, the diversity of the tribes and their beliefs, but yet they were all similar. And reading about this just kind of inspired me to branch out in my reading. And soon I was going to the library, 9 years old, checking out books on Hinduism and Buddhism, and then, interestingly enough, spiritualism, mediums talking to the dearly departed. And as the years progressed, I followed Shirley MacLaine out on that limb and got so far out that I could hear the wood crack behind me. Crystals, trance channeling, energy, sound, and color healing, aliens from outer space, chakras. I found myself fascinated with some pretty interesting stuff. But I also found myself serious about meditation. Soon I discovered A Course in Miracles and attended an ACIM study group for several years. I was part of a Unity study group about that same time. All I knew for sure was that I was meant to do something. And I wasn't sure what that something was, but it was more than just a desire. It was a need, a drive. So this talk was something that basically was inspired by an email I got a few days ago. The writer was asking if we are using our talents and skills in a positive way, and quoted Mother Teresa, who said that we might not be able to do big things for God, but we're able to do little things with big love. Service to others is a labor of love. And that's what I was meant to do, to be of service somehow. Divine Science co-founder Nona Brooks taught us that God is love in action. So what if love is all we can do? I mean, everybody can do something that counts as service to others, from young children even to the advanced elderly. Several years ago, when I lived in West Virginia, there was a food share program that I worked with. And the idea behind it was service. People would do a certain number of community service hours, and in exchange, they'd get $35 worth of free food. And of course, that was when $35 bought a lot more than it does now. And of course, you could do more hours. So for 10 hours, you get your $35 worth of food. But if you wanted or needed more food, you could volunteer more hours. And we had families sign up, not just for parents trying to feed their children, but to teach their children to be of service to other people. The older children could go out into the community, maybe cut grass for the neighbors, rake leaves. The little kids were encouraged to serve also, and they did that by doing such things as helping mom around the house, picking up their toys at the end of the day before they go to bed, dusting the furniture, setting the table for dinner, that kind of thing. And we had elderly people who weren't able to get out, and they served by making phone calls to their friends to check up on them. They'd send out cheery little thinking of you greeting cards. If it was serving another, it counted toward their volunteer hours. And my son and I participated, not for the food, but to satisfy that need to serve. So we delivered food to the elderly folks who couldn't get out and get theirs. I'd drive, Aaron would carry the food into their homes, and we'd put the groceries away for them. And most of the time, the food that we received for our efforts, we donated to somebody who maybe for whatever reason didn't have enough hours that week, or maybe they weren't participating at all for whatever reason. So yeah, we were doing little things with big love and expressing God in action, God as love in action. So as I was pondering all this and thinking about this, the line of a poem came to mind, and a lot of people know that line, and perhaps you do as well. They also serve who only stand and wait. Now, I didn't know anything about the poem that line came from, so I did a little research, and here's what I found. It's a sonnet written by the poet John Milton back in the mid 1600s, and if you were to title it, it would be the first line of the sonnet: "When I consider how my light is spent." Also, it's been numbered. They number his sonnets as well, and depending on who you're using as a source, this might show up as sonnet number 16 or sonnet number 19. But basically, the poem is about how Milton is beginning to go blind in his early 40s, and this is his response to his loss of sight and the implications that he thinks it has for his life. And it's a short poem. When I consider how my light is spent ere half my days in this dark world and wide, and that one talent which is death to hide, lodged with me, useless, though my soul more bent to serve therewith my Maker, and present my true account, lest he returning chide. Doth God exact day labor, light denied? I fondly ask. But patience, to prevent that murmur, soon replies, God doth not need either man's works or his own gifts. Who best bear his mild yoke, they serve him best. His state is kingly. Thousands at his bidding speed and post o'er land and ocean without rest. They also serve who only stand and wait. So Milton is basically talking about losing his eyesight when he's in his early 40s, barely halfway through his life. And he's got so much more important work to be done. He understands that God gave him this ability to make poetry. But how can he complete the work that God gave him the talent to do and which God expected him to complete if he was deprived of his sight? And the line that says, that one talent which is death to hide, lodged with me useless, though my soul more bent to serve therewith my maker and present my true account, lest he returning chide, is an allusion to scripture. It's a parable from the Gospels of Matthew and Mark. And you probably know the story. The rich man is going on a trip and he leaves his servants and he gives each of them a few talents. In this case, talents in this case are coins, it's money. And he says, take these talents and make use of them while I'm gone. So the first servant has 10 talents and he goes out, and I'm not sure what it is exactly that he did, but he earned another 10 talents on top of what his master gave him. And the second servant had 5 talents and he went out and he doubled his money as well. The third servant was scared of his master because he was known to be a bit of a harsh taskmaster at some points. And so he just took his talent and he buried it. And he knew that that one talent was going to be safe until the Lord of the Manor got home. And he did get home, and he called his servants to him and said, well, what did you do with my talents that I gave you? And the first servant comes back and he said, well, I got 10 additional talents. So here's the money that you gave me, and here is the extra. And the master said, well done, thou good and faithful servant. And then the second servant comes up and he says, well, I doubled my money too. You gave me 5 talents and I'm bringing you back 10. And the master said, well done, thou good and faithful servant. And the third servant came and he dug up the talent and brought it. And he said, you know, master, you can be pretty harsh sometimes. And I was scared. I didn't want to lose this money for you. So I just put it away safely for a while, but here's your 1 talent back. And the master was angry because the servant could have done something and he didn't. So this is what Milton is talking about. He wants to do something with his talent, but can he do it if he can't see? He asked the question whether God expects him to work, even if he's gone completely blind. And then he answers himself. And he says, God doesn't require work or gifts from mankind because God's a king. And there are thousands of people traveling all over the world who are able to work and work hard serving God. But those who merely stand and wait patiently instead of running around actively doing whatever, they also serve. And I pondered that when I was in the hospital because, I wasn't able to do some of the things that I normally do, my ministry online. So I just did what I could while I was there. I tried to remain cheerful and upbeat. I spoke to the help, carry on conversations with my nurses, the doctors, even the folks who came in to clean the floors and the room. And that's what I did. I stood and waited, and those opportunities came to me. I was also reminded of another parable that shows up in scripture in both Mark and in Luke. Jesus is at the temple and he's watching the crowd put money into the temple treasury. And a lot of rich people are coming by and they're putting in big sums of money, large amounts. And this poor little widow woman also came, and she had 2 coins. It was worth just a few cents. And Jesus called his disciples over and said, look, and this is highly paraphrased, by the way. He said, look, dudes, I'm going to be straight with you here. You see that poor widow over there? She put in only just a couple of coins into the treasury, but those 2 coins amount to more than all the other contributions to the treasury. Those rich people, they gave out of their surplus. They're not missing anything. But this lady's living in poverty, and she gave all that she had to give, which was her whole livelihood. Now, the book of Ecclesiastes tells us, whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. So how does that tie in? We're talking about being of service, of doing small things with great love. And when I was dreaming as a boy of what ministry might look like for me, I pictured myself standing in a pulpit, sometimes in a little country church and sometimes in a massive cathedral, speaking to hundreds of people. And I do that on occasion, step into a pulpit as a guest speaker, maybe not as often as I'd like, but that part of my dream has been fulfilled. The bulk of my ministry there looks way different than what I could have thought at age 14, because there was no internet back in the 70s. And that's how I do my work now. I do it online. I consider myself to be a spiritual cheerleader for people who turn to me for guidance and counseling and advice or prayer. And I'm happy to be of service that way. And I don't charge for it. On some occasions, when somebody's asked me whether I charge or what I charge for counseling, or even just taking some time to do affirmative prayer treatments with them, I tell them to pay me what they think it's worth to them. So as an aside, I guess I'd be a really sucky businessman because my self-marketing skills are a little lacking. I let them come to me. We're New Thought people. We don't proselytize. We live our lives like the 12-step programs, I think. We live our lives and we're happy to share what we have if someone sees what they like in us. If they like what they see in us, they come to us and we can give to them. So my needs get met regardless. Bills get paid. There have been times, sometimes I've wondered how I was going to make the light bill or keep kibble in Lily's food dish. Sometimes I forget, but you know what? God has always provided. My life is a lesson lifted straight out of the book of Matthew. Jesus is teaching, don't worry about your life, what you're going to eat or drink or wear. Life's so much more than that. Look at the birds. They don't sow, they don't reap. God makes sure they get fed. And he said, consider the lilies of the field. They don't toil or spin. Solomon, in all of his glory as the richest king of Israel, wasn't dressed as beautifully as the flowers. And don't worry about what you're going to eat or drink or wear. Just trust in the Lord, the law of the universe, and remember to seek the kingdom of God, and everything you need will be given to you. So like I said a minute ago, I sometimes forget that. Hey, minister's human, just like everybody else. Sometimes I forget, but I always eventually come to my senses. And I realize that I really didn't have anything to worry about. It all gets taken care of. I don't pastor a physical church. My church is virtual. I don't pass a collection plate, and I don't ask or expect folks to send in tithes and offerings. All I ask is that if they have a need, they contact me so that I can be there for them, that I can pray for them, and I can hold them up. And I ask them to pray for me as well. And if a minister needs someone to step into their pulpit at the last minute, Reverend Michael, I'm there. I'm available. And like I said, I don't actively go searching for these opportunities, but yet they always seem to show up. It happens when it happens. And in the meantime, the Lord, the law, takes care of me. And like I said, it's not to say that sometimes I don't fall into the trap of worry, but these days I'm quicker to recognize when I'm down in the ditch and I pull myself out. So doing small things with great love, doing it with all my might, that's what I'm about. That's how I serve. And I appreciate the opportunity to tell you a little bit more about how I do ministry. And I invite you to remember that when you minister, and even if you don't have REV period in front of your names, you are a practitioner, you are a minister, you do your service to the world in your ways. All I ask is that you do it with all your might, so to speak. Do your small things with great love, knowing that they add up to big things. And remember that it's okay to take a break sometimes, to take care of yourself. That in times, the best way you can serve is to stand and wait. We all have a function. We all have a purpose. We all serve in our own ways. My way may not look like your way. Yours may not look like mine. But if we're each contributing, it matters not how one serves, only that one serves. Much love and many blessings. Thank you for asking me to be with you today.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That was wonderful there. Great love. To do it with big love. You do it all the time. I mean, you are an example of it every time. And it's just, wow, that was fabulous. I'm going to turn it over to other comments because I know there are. So,
Well, thank you, Reverend Jeff, for your doing wonderful things. And I think that again, it broadens the whole idea of, what is mine to do. And again, that we have some, that we talk about the divine givingness of spirit, and then we talk about the oneness with us, and how can spirit give in and through us. We all have, I think we all have a part to do, and no matter what age you're at, that we all, and like your talk said, we can always do something. And I know for me that giving of service has been really vital, and it's been a joy. And that I think giving your life away, doing Siva, doing selfless service, I think for me has been very. And again, it can be as insignificant to you as giving a smile to somebody, but for somebody who's really having a bad day, and what you did with the small acts done in big love really sometimes makes a huge difference. So thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Thank you.
You mentioned something just now that sparked a memory. The poet Tagore said, "I slept and dreamed that life was joy. I awoke and found that life was service. I acted, and behold, service was joy."
I love the community service project where everybody gets involved at the part as what they can do. The older folks and the young children. It reminds me of the early days of the co-op we started here in Akron, the food co-op. In fact, it was similarly about food, getting food to people, good food at a decent price. But yeah, I love that service to the community and building community. That was very nice.
cool. There any other comments at this point?
I love the place of service in discovering each moment, what it is I need to be doing and where I need to be going. I recently, 8 weeks ago, moved into a new home and discovered that I have neighbors that don't talk to each other. And I thought, well, this is a pretty good service opportunity. I'm just going to have some real fun with this. And, been watching the neighbors and when they come and go, and being outside to be able to wave to them. And very slowly people are beginning to talk. And it is kind of an interesting love project that I have going on because it's a beautiful community. There are so many individuals here that are just really curious about their neighbors, but have never taken time to step out of their homes. So I I'm loving the process every day to be of service in that way. So thank you for those nice reminders. I often quote John Milton because I think that is so important. It isn't always about doing. It is about being the presence in the room, being the presence as you walk down the street, in the grocery store, and also thank you for the reminders.
Kyle, did you have any? You've opened up your camera. Did you have a comment or no?
Oh, I was just thinking, we have some neighbors that are kind of like asshole neighbors, when they don't talk it to us, it's like a good thing, or sometimes they're pleasant, but they always like find something to complain about the neighbors on both sides.
I've got neighbors similar to that, Kyle. And I've not met any except for just a couple of people on the one side of me. But I'm out in the country too. It's pretty rural. But I did have opportunity to eventually meet a couple of my neighbors when their cows got out and into the road. And I didn't know who to call, so I just put out on Facebook. I said, "Hey, this is where I'm located. I've got cows here." And people responded and they're saying, "Well, I think they might belong to so and so, and they might belong to such and such over here." And eventually somebody said, "No, those belong to us, to another person altogether. Here's his phone number." So I called, found out that they actually belong to the man's cousin who lives down the road. And cousin A, who lives right up here above me, said, "Give him a call. Here's his number. And if they ever get out again, call him." But he said, "Know that if you can't reach him, you can always get in touch with me." And so eventually we got that going. So, and now I see the people as they drive up and down the road and they're starting to wave. And, and that sometimes that's all it takes is just wave at me. I'll wave back. That's enough of a connection.
Oh, right. That's wonderful. Okay, unless there's any other comments, I'm going to turn this over to Tim to do a song.
Hey, and hopefully you can hear it. I don't know if I've done this song here before this year, but with the mood I've been surrounded by at work and among friends in the last couple of weeks, I think it's needed. It's by Jesse Manabusen. There is a place for the sadness. Hold on to love. There is a season for gladness. Hold on to love. When pain and confusion seem endless, hold on to love. We cultivate healing through kindness. Hold on to love. Hold on to love where hope is found. Hold on to love where joy abounds. Hold on to love where grace and mercy's overflowing. Hold on to love. When terror and fear overwhelm us, hold on to love. Courage and faith will sustain us. Hold on to love. When violence seeks to destroy us, hold on to love. Our acts of compassion restore us. Hold on to love. Hold on to love where hope is found. Hold on to love where joy abounds. Hold on to love where grace and mercy's overflowing. Hold on to love. Hold on. When hatred is used to divide us, hold on to love. Wisdom and truth reunite us. Hold on to love. When prejudice poses as freedom, hold on to love. Dignity means all are welcome. Hold on to love. Hold on to love where hope is found. Hold on to love where joy abounds. Hold on to love where grace and mercy's overflowing. Hold on to love where hope is found. Hold on to love where joy abounds. Hold on to love where grace and mercy's overflowing. Hold on to love. Hold on to love.
That was absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
It's I'll never be amazed, but it always happens that even though nobody puts things together, this music always somehow goes with the message, and even if you didn't do it ahead of time, and it's just beautiful. So
That was certainly the case this week.
absolutely, absolutely, and thank you. And that was your, am I right, Tim?
What was that?
It's an original, one of your
No.
songs? Oh, it's not. Oh, either way. So,
Yeah, as soon as I heard it, I was thinking, God, Jesse Manubusen, why did you think of that before me? But it's not going to keep me from stealing it.
Yeah, it's the most beautiful song. You did it very well.
yes, beautiful. Okay, so it is that time in our service where we have the opportunity to give. And there's several ways you can give by going to Zelle. And through Zelle, you would go to sscofakron@gmail.com. That's sscofakron@gmail.com. And you can give, or you can go to PayPal and go to sscofakron@gmail.com. And that's sscofakron@gmail.com. And, or you can do what Carolyn does. She sends a check and she makes it out to Summit or Summit Spiritual Center. And what I like about it, when I get something from Carol Ann, she always sends an uplifting note. Now, not everybody has to do that. You can just send a check, but it is wonderful to get those uplifting notes. So when Jeff was talking about what people do by sending out a note or making a phone call or whatever, thank you, Carol Ann. That's you do that all the time, and I appreciate that. So If you wanted to back, it is, you send it to with the word summit on it. Or Summit CSL or Summit Spiritual Center. And it would be send it to 1199 Lexington Avenue, Akron, Ohio 44310. And let's imagine our gift, right top over left. Just know with me that all that we have, all that we give, all that we receive is blessed in a very good way. And I am thankful and grateful for each and every person, each and every person, and know that it goes to the person, and it also goes back to the person 10 times or more for them just being willing to. So with that, I am grateful and thankful. And so it is. Amen. And John, how about some good, more good?
Good, more good is mine, and ever increasing good is mine. Unlimited and infinite good is mine. Wherever I go, I see good. Whatever I do, I feel oh so good. I'm worthy and entitled to good and more good. Good crowds itself upon us, wraps itself around us. We give ourselves permission to accept more good, express more good. Good, more good is ours, and ever increasing good is ours. Thank you, Spirit, and so it is.
All right. Thank you, John. Okay. So, time for announcements.
Yes, and just if you did not get the announcement that I sent out here about an hour ago about Carol Ann's meditation coming up this Wednesday, you are not on the list. So if you'd like to experience meditation with Carol Ann, again, she's holding a very special series. We're coming up on the second of 4. And so if you would like to be invited for that, there is no charge. Just go ahead and send me an email at pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com, and I'll put you on the good list, the good Santa list. And
You're
then
not making a bad list and giving it to Santa, I hope.
well, yeah, okay, yeah. But again, so if you'd like to experience the last one was wonderful. So we'd like to get the Zoom link out to you. So if, again, just let me know, and that'd be great. And again, the email is in the chat if you'd like to go ahead and to sign up. If you have already signed up, don't worry about it. You're on the list, and you'll get the link. So, but if you're not, then just go ahead and let us know. Yeah, and just to let you know, also, Jeff and I did a fireside chat on Friday evening, and I thought that was a lot of fun. But all of the information for the fireside chats and the other programming that I do on New Thought Media Network, if you just go to New Thought Media Network, the YouTube page, all of the programming is there. And let's see. I think that's it. And if you would like to get more of Tim's music, Tim has in the chat. If you'd like to.
That was my
more.
announcement.
Okay. All right. Well, I was being nice and being your announcer. So.
No,
Okay.
no, I'm just saying that's what my announcement was. So go ahead.
All right.
So for those who may not see the chat, it's broadjam.com/albums/Tim Mauro, MAUR. So
Just copy and paste.
yeah.
I clicked on it and it went right there. So
Yeah. do that.
Diana, could you remind folks about the community gathering coming up?
Yes, I'm not gonna give it to John first, because I know he always has an announcement.
Yeswise.com. You can see Yeswise Inspiry, and I'm also doing on Tuesday evenings at 8 Eastern time, just maybe a half an hour kind of need to know information and an overview of my upcoming courses after the first of the year called Holistic Studies. You can check out that through yeswise.com. Also, the link. It's a live stream, and I put it up. You can't set it up till 24 hours in advance. So as soon as I get the link for that, I put it up. But you can always go to Yeswise channel on Rumble and at 8 o'clock, and it'll be there too. But yeswise.com, you can check out my different information there.
Okay, wonderful. And the community gathering, we're gonna, just a chance to be able to get in person with people. It's going to be, Monday, December 2nd. We're gonna do, late lunch, early dinner, whatever you wanna call it. At 2 o'clock, we're gonna go to a bad eatery at the, Portage Trails, crossing, Portage Crossing, is at Portage Trail and, State Road in Cabo Falls, Ohio. And, we will be paying for the meal. So please come, please be there. If you can't be there, and that goes to you, Deb and Wayne as well. I know you're there all the time. And if there's, so if there's, anybody that you haven't seen in a long time, and you happen to run into them, like Michael ran into Diana Hawk yesterday. And invite them. They're welcome to come to people who have been part of our community or want to be a part of our community. So it's December 2nd, 2 p.m. at Aladdin's Eatery at the corner or at Portage Crossings. It's on actually Portage Trail, but it is at the right near the corner of State Road and Portage Trail. So, and Jeff and Tim, I know you both can't be there, but we'll be thinking of you. And
I think they should fly in for lunch.
I think they should. I think they both should fly in for lunch. But
What do you think, Jeff?
I'll get my angel wings.
I've
got the halo, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I was saying, Jeff, the northern lights were supposed to be visible in Ohio that so many weeks ago, and I missed them, so it's kind of nice to see the background and kind of imagine what they look like anyway.
I saw them down here in Tennessee the first night. They were just kind of real thin and faded, but they were there. The next night that they were supposed to be visible, didn't see anything, but I put my phone into night mode and just took pictures of the sky, and it showed right up.
Wow.
There's a tip. If there's something in the sky at night that you want to see, put your phone in night mode and click on it, and daggone if it won't show right up. It's there.
Cool. I didn't know that. All right. So let's go ahead and do a moment of silence. And when we do that, we're going to this is a time where you can bring into your thoughts and prayers somebody who may need healing, whether it be yourself, family member, neighbor, the world, whatever it may be. Please just know that it's already done, that the healing is done. Okay, so. light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, the Spirit is, and all is well. And so it is. John's going to do a closing song.
Real and true. Life is real. Life is true. We are life, living as me and you. Joy is real. Joy is true. We are joy, living as me and you. Peace is real. Peace is true. We are peace, living as me and you. Love is real. Love is true. We are love, living as me and you. Living as me and you.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, so much. And Hannah, you can finish our Facebook feed now. And